Anyone wanting to speak before for public comments? There's a green card in the back. If you would, please sign that green card.
And there were differences between that and
Okay, we got about a minute.
which seem to be missing some pages. Hey, Reed. Hey, Reed.
Look at this latest version is this weird one.
Okay.
Some reason I got that one.
Colleen, are you all set? All right, cool.
Chair.
I'd like to call to order the City of Littleton City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, March 3, 2020. Roll call, please.
Mayor Valdez,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Malin,
Here.
Councilmember Driscoll, Councilmember Elrod,
Here.
Councilmember Fay,
Here.
Councilmember Grove, Councilmember Milliman.
We have a quorum. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well done, well done. This mic seems really sensitive, doesn't it? All right. Council. We have the agenda in front of us. Council, do you have any changes? Seeing none. All right, we're going to move on to comments and reports. First, City Manager. Do I have any?
Mayor, just one quick update here. In fact, I think you've commented on this off the dais here, but I think if you go to the city's webpage, you should now see kind of a comment form connected to the City Council's regular meetings. I'm hoping that that makes it a little more obvious and a little more convenient for our citizens to kind of comment on the council's agenda. I think, too, at the end of the week, you should have the council's tentative calendar in some form up on the web here as well. So, again, just trying to share more information.
Excellent, thank you. The Attorney.
Nothing from the city attorney's office.
Oh, thank you. I do have one comment. It was on term limits that we talked about boards and commissions.
Yeah, currently within our city codes, the term limits for all boards and commission members is 9 years. It does not take into consideration whether or not an individual has been appointed to be an alternate for a particular board. So the 9 years runs whether you're an alternate or not.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And with that, Councilmember Elrod.
Okay. Yeah,
Are you
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I know you just.
I have a few updates. So on the art front, as a liaison both to the Fine Arts Board and the Littleton Arts and Culture Commission, I have some updates there. Just as information, the March is Youth Art Month, and there is quite a lot going on around our community that I want to share. Littleton High School and the Fine Arts Guild at the Depot Art Gallery have a show going on for Littleton High School students. Displaying their art. Heritage High School partnered with the Curtis Center for the Arts. Rock's Art Gallery and the Aspen Grove are partnering to do a kids banner project that would take the artwork that kids do from the ages of 7 through 13, put them on banners on the light posts through Aspen Grove. And Heritage High School musical performance, Guys and Dolls, is going on March 12, 13, and 14.
What's the name again?
Guys and Dolls, Heritage High School. And so I think this just kind of shows how rich we truly are in the arts, but many people don't know about it. So it's nice to see a lot of those partnerships happening organically as well. I also attended an arts and industry forum hosted by CBCA, which is Colorado Businesses on the Coalition for the Arts. The forum was on arts and hospitality, so very relevant to us as we think about our hotels, Aspen Grove as a retail destination, downtown as a retail destination. The key message or attributes that came from that forum is that through arts, there's a creation of sense of place, as was done at Gaylord Resort. It builds community. This was done at Stanley Marketplace, really unifying the merchants and the very different neighborhoods of Aurora versus Stapleton. And it's an economic multiplier for the hotel industry, as it's bringing in new audiences to the hotels beyond those just visitors or lodging. So good to hear all of that. From the Fine Arts Board, they are preparing their request for qualifications for the fire memorial or fire commemorative piece that will be commissioned. That will go out in about the next month, and by this summer they would narrow down the selection. The other big project that they have going on now is the restoration of the artwork that you see coming out of the light rail station in downtown Littleton. So that's undergone a lot of damage over the years, and just the maintenance of it in the climate is a challenge. So they're working on what that might look like and how they maintain that. And that's all I have or can remember at this time.
I'm going to go over to Councilmember Grove.
Good evening. I have two things. One is I was approached by a board of directors from the South Metro Chamber, and they'd like to see Littleton get more involved with the South Metro Chamber. We don't seem to have a liaison, and what that would involve, their kind of vision, is that we would attend meetings or committee meetings, whoever wanted to do it, or maybe more than one person could do it. Specifically, they're doing a 100-year anniversary and featuring different cities, publicizing those cities. And I guess Denise Stevens works with them, and this would be something for council to represent. So they don't have a specific meeting. They have a board meeting, but that would be for board members. This would just be more participation. They are going to have a mayor's forum on May 20th, and they want to invite Jerry to come. So I gave them, made sure they had the information. So I don't know if that's of interest to anyone. If you are interested, let me know, and I can direct you to one of their board members, and they can kind of set you up.
And those are, I've attended a lot of the conferences and forums that they host and meetings as well. So that's always been open to us. So they're really good. A lot of them are relevant. So I think I'm very open to, exploring that relationship further, like what our role as a city is. I know Denise Stevens has done that as well. So I'm very open to it, Pam.
Okay, wonderful. I'll make sure that.
Once you send the information to all
Yeah.
send it to city clerk, and then they'll distribute it.
Okay, sounds good. Second thing is Next Gen Advisory Committee. We're in the process of getting applicants. It's very exciting. We got quite a few, and we are putting up flyers throughout Littleton. Everybody's taking one to do, Buck, downtown Littleton, put one up at Starbucks today. For anybody that's listening, this is an advisory committee for anybody between 16 and 36. If you know of anyone, they get an opportunity to learn about government, contribute to the community, and just make connections with other people that are interested in doing this. I can leave this on the back after this is over, but for those who are listening, just go to the littletongov.org website, put in Next Generation Advisory Committee, you'll get right to the place, and then somebody can actually submit an application. So look forward to lots of people working on that, and then Scott and I will be doing interviews sometime in April for the first start of the new group. Will start in May. Thank you.
Very much.
Great. Thank you for coming out tonight. I did attend the Redstone Bank ribbon cutting ceremony on February 20th, so I want to welcome Les Sowich and Corey Lundock, two of the key personnel people over there. They took over the old bagel shop right there on South Prince and Santa Fe. So Redstone Bank, welcome to Littleton. I also attended the South Metro Fire Board meeting last night. As some of you know, I have been filling in for Debbie Brinkman as she termed out. So my term expires in May, and we only had one applicant, one person complete the application, Cindy Hathaway. So she will be our liaison for South Metro Fire.
All right, good.
Starting in May. So congratulations, Cindy. And then the board did approve a sabbatical for Chief Baker. That'll be starting end of June, and he'll be back in early September. That's all I got.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Fay.
I would like to note the death of a notable Littleton citizen, Elwood Johnson. Elwood was almost 97 years old. I would characterize Elwood as impish. He loved to laugh, and he loved to stir things up. He was one of the 3 founders of the Littleton citizen group known as Sunshine. The founders were a Republican, a Democrat, and a Libertarian, and thus there was never mention of national politics by policy. The original issue, incredible as it would seem now, was opposition to a grocery tax in Littleton. Secondly, I would like to clarify a vote that I made a couple months ago on refugees. As recently as last week, I'm still receiving email from citizens who read the Littleton Independent article that misreported what I said. I'll say it again now. As I said then, that my vote was about process by which the issue came to this city council. It had nothing to do with my support of refugees. As clearly stated by the city attorney and the city manager then, they had not been able to gather any information about the September presidential executive about refugees, executive order about refugees. No information was my main issue. That's why I voted no. I found it really irresponsible myself to vote for something that we didn't know what it was or what liability we might be incurring down the line. We simply didn't know. Second, as I said then, I was voting against the process by which this got on council's agenda. Since it had not been accepted, apparently, by normal procedures, people found a workaround, obviously. The workaround was, per my 2 years of experience on council, yes, limited, but still 2 years, was really unusual. And it made it clear to me that with or without my vote, council would vote to accept refugees into Littleton. So that was going to happen. That freed me up to vote and comment about the process that brought the issue to Littleton City Council. Finally, I would like to point out again that our Littleton Independent reporter incorrectly stated what I said. And it is because of this incorrect reporting that I continue to get emails from citizens upset about what I did not say. When I contacted the reporter, he said that that was okay to print incorrect information because he knew what I meant anyway. The thing is, he got it wrong, and I'm paying the price. That's it.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I attended a community conversation on the LPS boundary redraw at Euclid a couple of weeks ago. This is a very important issue in a lot of ways for our city. I was happy to see the turnout. A lot of people attended that community conversation, a lot of passionate opinions. And encourage everyone who's not following this issue to please go ahead, follow it, and let me know as council's liaison at the school board what's on your mind. I certainly want to be in close communication with the LPS folks as this issue unfolds. And that's all.
Thank you very much. All right, I have a couple items here. One is for the Littleton Citizens Police Academy is celebrating their 20th anniversary. So that's worth knowing. And what the Littleton Citizen Police Academy graduates, what they do, among other things, is if you call the city and sign up, to let the city know you're going to be on vacation, the Citizens Police Academy, they have patrol cars, and they will patrol, go by your house from time to time. You know, there's no, you know, they'll call the police if they see anything, doors open, anything like that. So it's a pretty good service that they offer, and they do drive around neighborhoods, and they inform the police if they see any suspicious activity. Also, I want to make sure that when we did the boards and commissions, the minutes, I have the minutes, but do we need to post those minutes since it was a special meeting? And the minutes would basically be, you know, just that we had it and we interviewed so-and-so on this day and so-and-so on the next day. That's a question.
Mayor, it really wasn't a special meeting because you didn't take any action. They were interviews.
Okay.
If it had been a special meeting, we would have had to televise.
Okay, and the attorney agrees with that? Okay.
Correct, so you don't need to post the minutes.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure we weren't skipping a step on that. And with that, is there anything else? I think so. We're good there. We're going to move down to citizens' appearance. We have nothing on the agenda, so we're just going to skip right down to public comment, assuming we have some public comment here tonight. There's our little green card. Thank you very much. We do have two people who have signed up, Ms. Carol Brezak and Ms. Pam Chadbourne. And public comment is an opportunity to express opinions or ask questions regarding issues that are not part of the public hearing on tonight's agenda. Because of the open meetings law, the City Council will not discuss, comment, or take action at tonight's meeting on any issues raised by public comment that is not part of tonight's agenda. However, the mayor may refer the issue to city manager, city attorney, and/or staff to obtain additional information and report back to City Council as appropriate. We do expect comments to be civil. Disrespect and disruptful behavior will not be tolerated. I will call the names of those, and please, when you come up, please give us your name and address. And that is it. Thank you. And if you have not signed up, there will be a chance for you to speak. Okay, Carol, thanks for waiting.
I'm Carol Brezak. I live in the 4th District. I'm excited about looking at the website and seeing the changes. It sounds to me like another step into open government. In 1972, the Colorado legislature passed the Open Meetings Law, otherwise known as the Sunshine Law. It is the policy of this state that the formation of public policy is public business and may not be conducted in secret. I'm concerned about what I believe to be a violation of the Open Meetings Law and our city charter. The law states that a meeting means any kind of gathering convened to discuss public business. 3 or more members of council convening constitutes a meeting. Our charter further defines the types of meetings that council can have. There are 4: regular, special, study session, and emergency. The Sunshine Law states that minutes of any council meeting at which the adoption of any proposed policy, position, resolution, rule, regulation, or formal action occurs, or even could occur, shall be taken and promptly recorded. The law states that council may not adopt any proposed policy, position, resolution, rule, regulation, or take formal action by secret ballot, with few exceptions. Board and commission appointments would not qualify as an exception. Now, my concerns. The meetings held to interview applicants as listed on the city's website did not indicate what type of meeting there were. It's important to know because there are different requirements for each. All meetings have to be posted and open to the public, but a study session does not require minutes because, in theory, no decisions can be made. At your Wednesday meeting, council members voted as to who they would like to sit on each board and commission. Because there was an adoption of a position by each of you in attendance, minutes are required. However, no one seems to know exactly what type of a meeting you were holding. Which of the 4 types was the meeting on Wednesday night? If you were in a special meeting, you are certainly allowed to take action, but our charter also allows you to take action, only allows you to take action in 3 ways: by motion, resolution, or ordinance. My understanding is that there were no motions, resolution, or ordinance that were voted, but yet we have names forwarded for approval tonight. My last and probably the biggest concern is, regardless of the type of meeting you were holding, your votes were cast by secret ballot, which is a violation of the Sunshine Law. For the purposes of the law, a secret ballot means a vote cast in such a way that the identity of the person voting is withheld from the public. You cannot rely on past practices nor on staff to know everything. I came before you earlier this year suggesting that you have a great opportunity to change the culture in Littleton in this room. This is an example of why I came before you. Ignoring the open meeting law only discredits this body. If you are willing to hold unlawful council meetings in the public view, voting by secret ballot, then what are we to think might happen behind closed doors? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Chadbourne.
Good evening, Council. My name is Pam Chadbourne. I live a block and a half from here. So, yeah, I agree with Carol. Who is on boards and commissions is vital. I can say this having observed Planning Commission, and I'm going to make a comment about the envision process and plan again. We have not yet seen one, much less 3 or 4 or 5, integrated, feasible concepts for our city's future. And that's actually what should have been captured in the comp plan, and we've never seen one, much less 5 options to choose between. They've got to be integrated among the economic drivers, the traffic decisions, the types of housing and retail that we have. And there are models to do this. And if we don't have that, we have no unified vision and we have no real comp plan and we can't execute, which is what I saw at the Planning Commission HPB meeting last week. These were extraordinary. Staff brought 9 text proposals with some illustration of extremely tiny, narrow things that they said several times came from developers. This is what developers are pressuring us to do. This is what a developer wants. I saw none of what Councilmember Grove advocated 2 months ago, which is let's be restrictive at the beginning, and then in 18 months we can loosen code. You can't go the other way, Council. This must be the time to constrain and protect and loosen later. And that's not happening. And it's, again, part of the process that descends to a tiny detail instead of presenting the integrated, feasible city and how it's impacted by what is being considered. So that's my latest pitch about the fatal flaw in Envision. Now, about tonight's agenda, consent agenda backwards, terminate the Regional Hazardous Materials Board. It sounds crazy to me. The reason is because it's no longer necessary to meet state and federal regulations. What about safety? We got a railroad here. We've got Lockheed Martin transporting stuff through Denver. We have pesticides, batteries to Lowe's and Home Depot, and O'Toole's. These are dangerous things, and we need this protection. I think you got to reconsider this in some way. Comcast, privacy reporting gives them the right to use personal private data. Only disclose personally identifiable information, and that's allowed. It shouldn't be allowed, and I understand it's probably a boilerplate. I object to it. I wish you would. Third, I'm just going to mention the Pell and the Transportation and Mobility Board. They have never been brought Pell questions, yet that was given as one of the reasons for their creation. And I want to see them brought something meaningful to decide and discuss, not trying to flounder among 6 pages of almost 100 projects that were not defined by staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Mr. Atwood.
Good evening, Frank Atwood. And I think I'm going to just comment on being grateful that the moratorium got passed, regret that it may have been passed 5 years too late, and that I'm still concerned about the character of Littleton, especially in the downtown area, as evidenced by what Valley Feed has become, what is the south of the courthouse, and Slot Homes, and wonder if that's consistent with the character that we all want for Littleton. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, an opportunity for staff to make any comments, if none? Attorney?
Yeah, in regard to Ms. Breziak's comments regarding the interviews that council engaged in it would be my legal opinion that it was not in violation of the open meetings law, because at the time of that, there was not any policy, position, resolution, rule, or regulation, or formal action that was taken at that time. It was just an interview with interested citizens trying to be engaged with their local government. In regard to Ms. Chadbourne's comments regarding the dissolution of that hazmat thing, that came by way of South Metro Fire Rescue. And talking with the board of that hazmat coalition, if you will, it's my understanding that at the time that it was formed at a different time in which it was on the heels of kind of 9/11 and things that had been going on. It was an opportunity for this organization to help, by way of federal grants, the various departments get these kind of emergency resources to respond to that. Over the course of time in the building up of those resources, what has also happened is there's been quite a bit of coalition, if you will, and inclusion among the various fire districts that were representative of the time. So with South Metro Fire Rescue being a predominant part of what the South Metro area is, it was their determination that it was no longer necessary, that they had the available resources right now, and there was no need to continue to have that particular board going, incurring expenses.
So bottom line is, if the train derails, we notify South Metro.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. All right. We're gonna move down to our consent agenda, of which we have many issues. Mayor Pro Tem, would you please read?
Yeah, I've been asked by the mayor to read this list of consent agenda items. There's obviously quite a number of these, so I'll move as quickly as I can. Ordinance 09-2020, an ordinance on first reading amending ordinance number 25, series of 2019, known as the Annual Appropriation Bill. Ordinance 10-2020, an ordinance on first reading amending the 2020 Littleton Sewer Utility Enterprise Budget. Ordinance 11-2020, an ordinance on first reading amending the 2020 Littleton Stormwater and Flood Management Utility Enterprise Budget. Ordinance 12-2020, an ordinance on first reading amending multiple sections of Title VI of the Littleton Municipal Code pertaining to police regulations. Ordinance 07-2020, an ordinance on first reading amending Title I Administrative Regulations of the Littleton Municipal Code. Ordinance 08-2020, an ordinance on first reading amending Title III, Chapter 14 of the Littleton Municipal Code pertaining to adult entertainment establishments. Ordinance 13-2020, an ordinance on first reading amending Title IX, Chapter 1, Sections 1 and 12 of the Littleton Municipal Code pertaining to the Model Traffic Code and traffic violations. Resolution 14-2020, approving an intergovernmental agreement with Colorado Department of Transportation for a planning and environmental linkages study on US 85 between C-470 and I-25/Alameda, including the City of Littleton, and provide a financial contribution for the study. Resolution 17-2020, authorizing adoption of Comcast's customer service standards. Resolution 16-2020, entering into an intergovernmental agreement terminating the Regional Hazardous Materials Board of Arapahoe / Douglas counties. And motion to approve authority, board, and commission appointments. And approval of the February 18th, 2020 regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
All right, we have
Second.
Thank you very much for doing that. A yes vote is unless there's any discussion, a yes vote is in favor and no vote is against. Ready?
The vote is 6 in favor. The motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. Thank you for reading those.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right. I'd still be on and C. All right, so thank you very much. All right, we have no general business today. We have no second readings. Patrick?
Yes, I move to go into executive session pursuant to CPR period S 24-6-402 4A and Article 3, Section 27 of the City Charter for proposed of discussing the purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of any real or personal property.
Second.
Second. We have a motion and a second to go into an executive session. And just as a reminder, we need 5 votes in order for it to pass. It's a little different when you have an executive session. Okay, so cool. If you've all voted, a yes vote is to go into executive session, and a no vote is opposed.
The vote is 6 in favor. The motion is unanimous.
Great, thank you. So after the we are going to go into an executive session, and then what do we estimate our time-wise on that?
45 minutes.
About 45 minutes, and then we'll come back here to adjourn, and then at that point, we'll go into a study session. So cool. So it is 7 o'clock now, so right around 8 o'clock, we'll be in a study session. Thank you. We will be back.
To Tyler, I hope you got that. Tyler, you good? Oh, we got to do it again. We got to do it again. Sorry.
Places.
Sorry. It is 8:10. We have finished the executive session. No formal action was taken. We will now move into a study session. We are hereby adjourned. Cool.